and welcome back to the channel. I am so glad you've joined me today. We are going to be exploring a quick guide to chord sheets in 3/4. If you watched my video on a quick guide to chord sheets in 4/4, I gave you a lot of great tips in that video, and we're going to be exploring those in chord sheets for 3/4. So please join me. In this quick guide to chord sheets in 3/4, let's take a look at a chord sheet for Amazing Grace. What is a chord sheet, you might ask? So this is a very simple chord sheet. A chord sheet is simply lyrics with the chords on top. As you look at a chord sheet, you're going to notice that the chords line up with the words, and sometimes there is space between, sometimes the chords happen quickly. You want to be ready to change chords where it changes in the chord sheet. The first thing we're going to do is block our chords with the inversions that we choose to use. So if you're not familiar with inversions, it's really important to learn those first. So go back and watch Understanding and Creating Chord Inversions, where I teach you how to build inversions. And another video you can reference is Mastering Inversions with Smooth Transitions, which will help you move through inversions very easily and smoothly in a chord progression. If you notice as we look through, there's quite a few G's in this chord progression, and we do have some slash chords. We'll talk about that in a minute. And we have some E minors, C, G, D7. There's a lot of chord changes in this particular chord sheet. So we're going to start with our G, and then next is E minor, C, G. And then we also need to be able to get to a D7. So you can add that C in there if you want to, but a D or D7. D7, you could also do your D7 like this if you want to, and then a G. So there are your blocked chords. Before we start the accompaniment pattern, you need to notice that we have slash chords here. When we look at slash chords, notice that the first letter is the actual chord, and the second letter is going to be the bass note that you want. So if we're doing left hand bass notes, that's the bottom note that you want in the left hand when you're playing. Our first accompaniment pattern is going to be just that, left hand bass notes, and then we're going to use broken chords in the right hand. I will sing along so you know where we are in the chord sheet. So here we go. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. 'Twas blind, but now I see. Our second accompaniment is going to continue with left hand bass notes. So same thing, bass notes, or if we have a slash chord, you're going to do whatever the bottom note is for the slash chord. And the right hand is going to alternate the top two notes with the bottom note, for it's going to be a semi-broken chord. Okay, so here we go with Amazing Grace. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. 'Twas blind, but now I see. And our third accompaniment, we're going to use right hand blocked chords and a left hand arpeggio. So When you have slash chords and you're doing a left hand pattern that has more movement, make sure you still move to that arpeggio with the bass note that is indicated. That's an important part of the chord sheet. So let's try this with left hand arpeggios and right hand blocked chords. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. 'Twas blind, but now I see. You will notice a couple of times with quicker chord changes that I only used the one chord and one bass note instead of doing a full arpeggio in the left hand. When you're moving quickly through chords, you have to make quick adjustments. So it's important to notice that as you're going. That gives you 3 different accompaniment patterns that you can use with Amazing Grace alone, plus all the other chord sheets in 3/4 that you can explore. Chord sheets in 3/4 are definitely different than chord sheets in 4/4, but they are so much fun as well. I hope you enjoyed this quick guide to chord sheets in 3/4 as you are well on your way to working with chord sheets. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel. And as always, I enjoy hearing from my audience, from you. So please leave me a comment or a question and I will get back to you. Thanks for joining me. See you in the next video.